Okay, here we are. We did it. Go live, go live. Here we are. Okay, doing all the things, doing all the things.
Yes.
Good Lord. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are.
I thought I would be here early, not just skating in the last.
Well, you know, we're both doing it. We're both doing it. We're getting it. We're getting the stuff. I'm putting out the new pattern to everybody. There we go. Getting the things done. And making sure everybody's got the stuff. And half the time I can't even get it to work. So now that we got it to work.
Hi, KB.
There we go. Hello, hello. Hi, Miss Karen. So we're just putting up the newest iteration on some of the different places. Hi, Denise. Hello, hello.
Hi, Denise.
Okay. What the heck?
What's happened now?
Do we have the wrong picture up? Did I have the wrong thing going? We got people in here.
I saw a boat.
That's weird.
I think I saw a boat.
Well, that's the one that I see too, but that's strange that I must never have put the right picture up. Oh well. We got a picture of a boat tonight. Okay.
Going to be calm sailing, Robbin.
Okay, I guess so. Except it's a boat surrounded by sharks. That's the truth.
Okay.
I don't know why that's
They're friendly sharks.
So strange. Okay, we got friendly sharks. Okay. I guess so.
They're protecting us from the other predators.
Us from the bad guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So here we go. And now I was just going to send this out. So, come on over. Come on in. The water's fine. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. So we've got the new pattern out there for everybody. And we are golden. I guess so. I guess we got people watching. So I guess we're here. That must be a thing. And see if we can keep this from falling over. Hello, Miss Amy. I think it's, well, I think we're having technical difficulties as well. So nothing new on my end. Nothing new on my end. Whoops, let me get rid of this. I got my, be easier to hear without that now. I don't need that. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Hi, Miss Karen. Hello, Denise. Hello, Amy. Thank you guys for coming in. Got a lot going on tonight. How's everyone? Amy, you're having some problems with your internet? Is that what's going on? Or just technical problems in general? Just problems in general. I know how that is too. Yes, I do. Hello, Miss Karen. Miss Karen, are you doing the knit shawl? I hope so. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would. Oh, now my light's being weird.
Yeah. Usually it's mine. I'm all daylight today, so unless a cloud passes, it should be okay.
Denise, are you doing any of our projects, Denise, or are you just here to visit? Just like to know what's going on. Oh, hubby's away this week, so you can get all kinds of things done. Or does that mean you've got more work to do, more work around the house? You take care of those chickens. Take care of those chickens. How many chickens do you have? I can't remember. I know you got a bunch. I think you've got more than we do. Oh, it's your earphones are cutting in and out. Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. I just got a message from Amber a minute ago. I should tell her, come on here. Welcome to the live.
Hi, Linda. How are you today, Linda?
Hello, Miss Linda. Hello, hello. How's it going, Linda? How's your project? How's your project? I'm just always so curious how everybody's doing. How is everybody keeping up? Is everybody doing it? What's going on? How's it going? How's it going? I actually got some done. I know, such a surprise, right? And I really haven't been having, I have not been really having a problem with the pattern.
Oh, that's good.
Knock on wood. It's going quite
But
well.
I believe you've been counting a lot.
I'm counting a lot, but that's what I like to do. I mean, I do that anyway. And I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, not by a long shot, but it also isn't awful, except for what is the deal here? Okay, so I need to ask you because if I may have messed up. Okay. Oh, you got a new grandbaby. New grandbaby gonna be a girl. You already made a blue one. Well, you'll have to make another the pink one.
Is it 100% certain that it's a girl? Because you know, sometimes things get
well, I think that's what happened. They said it was going to be a boy, and now it's going to be a girl.
Oh, okay. Blood test says it's a girl. Wow.
Yeah. That happens.
I've never heard determining the sex by a blood test.
I didn't either. But I'm out of the loop on those kinds of things.
Yes.
Absolutely. Son's wedding in September. There you go. So look at this. This is how far I am. I mean, I'll make me big.
Yeah.
And you guys can all laugh at my knitting. So here we go. That's how far I am. So
there's nothing to laugh at there.
What did you call this? The cable, the baby cable?
The chain. Yes, it's a chain stitch. It's in the separator section.
Did that. But I see. So we've got this this section in the center with the holes.
Yes.
But I'm noticing since I've done that cable, I don't have those anymore. So I've messed something up here in the center.
So you may, sometimes the holes don't show till the next row after.
Well, I've done 2 or 3 and I don't have any. So I don't know. I'm going to have to see what's going on there. Well, I guess, yeah, I've done 3. I need to look at that. I need to look at the video again. And it looks like I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong because I absolutely do not have any of those holes on that whole centerpiece.
Okay.
All the way ever since I did that middle, ever since I did that the cable thing.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those. I don't have that hole on any of them. So I am doing that. I'm doing that stitch wrong. That extra stitch.
Center. The center 2 stitches.
Yep. I'm going to have to I'm going to have to go back. I thought I was doing it right and I quit watching the video. Obviously I am not doing it right. So I'm going to have to watch the video again. Because it almost looks like it's going sideways too. Because see, here's the middle. It feels like this is the middle, but here's my middle stitch. My stitch markers are over there.
Oh, okay.
But my count is correct.
That's odd.
Yeah. My count is correct. So gonna have to figure that out. So I really love that we count it on every row and that we know it's supposed to be, oh, excuse me, what the heck is that? This doesn't look right.
That's never a good observation.
I guess it is because it's on every one of them. I thought maybe I had dropped a stitch because I have this extra little loopy thing right there, but it's just kind of loose on every one of them.
Oh, that's a shame, Linda. But that garter stitch will look good as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely messed that middle thing up. But my count is right, so I think I can just go back and watch that video again. It's so funny because you'd think after this many rows I'd have that memorized, but I absolutely do not. Absolutely do not. I am on row. It looks like I've just finished row 3 in section 2, the garter slip stitch row.
Okay.
So row 4 is just knit.
It's also a slip stitch, but instead of having the yarn
yarn in front, slip stitch, purl, yarn in back,
yep.
Knit 1.
So you should have little floats along the back, but they're only 1 stitch wide, so you won't notice them very much. And they'll be on the wrong side of the work. When you do row 4, it'll be on the row that on the side that's facing you, which is still the wrong side, but it's just the side that's facing you.
That was something I wished I had marked on here, was right side and wrong side.
Okay, well, you know your stocking stitch side on your shawl, the ones that
the right
very
side
plain.
shawl.
Yep, so that's your front. That's the right side. And the right side, it'll be all the odd numbered rows.
Okay, so the right side is the odd number?
Yes.
Okay. Because that helps me also keep my place in here when I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
So right side is the odd numbers.
What's a bluff, Deb?
Huh?
Oh, a blanket scarf.
Oh. Wrong side, wrong side, wrong side. Okay, I'm going to put that note somewhere.
Yes, I'm not sure. I don't have the full pattern here. I wasn't sure if in the first one I mentioned it was right side.
Oh, probably.
I don't remember.
Hey, Miss Deb.
And that's generally the way with patterns, that the odd numbers, unless they say, so they'll have row 1 at the beginning of your pattern, row 1, and then in brackets they'll usually have right side or RS, and then row 2 they'll have WS, and then it's assumed the rest of the pattern is exactly the same.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that on the first page, the very first section. Karen, you can use any size you want, I believe. Any size yarn? Or did I just make
which one? Is that for the knit shawl, Karen?
Your shawl, I think, yes.
Because I've got two. I've made 2 shawls, one in NACO, which is a DK weight, Mona Lisa, and I've done another one in Hobie's Amigo yarn, but it's on the thinner side of a DK weight. It's almost on a borderline with a number 2 weight. And I've put the sizes in the pattern for both of those, the finished size. Where is it? Here we go.
And I'm using Pacific, which is a 4, and you know this is sort of a light 4.
And this isn't blocked, but this is the Hobie one, so it's smaller. It's more of a.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful!
I love this color. This one turned out really well in the color. and it's just smaller than the 4-weight one. So got the 4-weight one here again, if you haven't seen that one. So we've got it's a bit unwieldy. There we go. So it's a really big one.
It's gorgeous.
It's 3 foot long and 7 foot wide.
Wow.
For the big one, and I can't remember the small one. I think it's 28 inches long, deep, and 52 inches wide, so 4.5 feet. But you can certainly do, put that one back there. You can certainly do more repeats, like repeat sections, if you want it to keep going longer. For both of those, and it only used 4 skeins of the Hobie 50 grams, 50 gram balls for the green one there, which I was really surprised at. Yeah,
that's gonna be fabulous. How's your Irish shawl coming?
Oh, it's coming along nicely. I haven't done a lot on it, but
you're doing that in fingering, right?
Yes, doing that in fingering weight. So this is how.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Let's color. Oh, I'm gonna bring you live. Let's see those colors again. Oh, that's working out gorgeous. Oh, those colors are perfect.
It is working out nicely. I'm on my 3rd donut. So I'm thinking I might go to 4. 3rd donut, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complete repeats.
Nice.
I don't know how wide it is, maybe 12 or 15 inches at the moment. But I like my wraps to be quite wide.
Yeah.
Almost like a.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to do one more. I've completely decided I want one more. I'm going to add one more thing on. So then it'll be, because it's 16 right now, so it'll be 20 for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Amy. I'm actually surprised at how well that yarn turned out. Like there's not a lot of, well, it's not color controlled at all, but it doesn't seem to be breaks in the middle. It seems to all flow together nicely. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. It's been a day. Oh, you're half done with the 3rd repeat. Oh, good. So you're getting there, because this one has 5 repeats. I can't remember.
What yarn were you doing yours in, Linda?
She's got my yarn.
Oh, is that the peach, white peach?
That's what I'm thinking. Is the white peach, right? Yeah, because I stole the white peach from Amber and sent it to you instead. I did order some more white peach, so I have more white peach in the store now. Gosh, it's such a pretty color. But I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Did you get 5 balls? Because I'm going to put that 5th one on. I think that'll make it just the right size. Just the right size. Oh. But I'm so tired tonight. I don't dare to. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired tonight. I don't dare knit because I will mess it up for sure. So it's knit 2, yarn in front. So does that mean on my side? Or
yes.
Okay. So
no, if it's those instructions, yarn in front, so you bring the yarn forward.
Okay.
Yep. Yarn in front.
Yarn
slip on and then take the yarn back.
So towards me, just like I'm going to purl.
So you bring the yarn to the front as if you're going to purl.
Okay.
Slip the stitch and then take the yarn back.
Slip the stitch. Oh, that's what was confusing to me.
Purl
so you slip the purl-wise, but you don't really purl.
Yeah, that's right. You slip it.
Slip the stitch purl-wise, then you flip it to the back, and then you knit.
Yes.
And then you do that over and over. Okay.
Yes.
My sister Linda is not well. She is so sick. She is
Oh,
so sick. I spent about 3 hours with her today, and
oh
she
my God.
vomited the entire time I was there, except for about half an hour. The nurse finally came in and gave her a shot of something, and it
Oh,
basically knocked her out so she could sleep. Um, and they're keeping her tonight for sure. So I'll go back
mm,
up in the morning. But it gave her husband a chance to take a shower and go get some breakfast and that kind of stuff. She
mm.
and they have no idea what is going on. They've done CAT scans, they've done X-rays, they did an upper GI. Her heart was racing so fast. She was in AFib.
Oh
Um,
dear.
they just have no idea what is going on. Her blood sugars this morning were running at about 380. Um,
So they're coming down, but they're still way too
yeah.
high.
hmm So
Ah,
just super sick. And she, poor baby. I, I'm rubbing her back while she's throwing up and talking to her and just giving her some love. And she
mm,
just started crying. She's, I don't feel good. And I'm like,
mm.
so I'm just hugging her and holding her. And she
Yeah.
just didn't feel good. And they just cannot. Oh, this is her calling. I'm going to hold on. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we can't hear Robin. So what I thought, um, while in today's session, that we would go through the correction section of the pattern, where, if your stitch count is off, if you don't have the same odd number in both wedges, then how can you get it to be an odd number and the same odd number in both wedges. So with the link that Robin's got on the screen there, that's the latest version. I've changed it a little bit. I hope to make it a bit more clear. And I've got worked examples in there as well. So whatever your situation, you should find a solution in there. I know that Robin's been counting almost every row because she doesn't want to get off count and make little fixes as she goes, if she does, which is a really great way to do it. And in these early stages, it's not such a burden. I mean, you've got 30 or 40 stitches ish. But later on, when you've got 135 or whatever, I count less often. Okay, and I've got the thumbs up, so it sounds like Robin's sister's doing well. Let's pray for that positive outcome for her. So I thought today, unless anyone's got any specific questions on the pattern, I'm pretty sure most people are doing Robin's one at the moment, Robin's shawl. But if there are any questions for the knitted one, I'm happy to answer those. And just quickly show you the calculator that's used in the pattern, and it's an online calculator. I emailed the lady who developed this calculator and asked if I could use it, and she gave me her blessing, so that was really nice. So many lovely people in the Yarny community, from Marina, who said, yep, go for it, use my cast on method that she developed, and this lady, no worries at all. So yes, must be a very troubling time for Robbin to having a sister. This is the sister that she works for at the craft store. Mm, yes. So I believe it was Memorial Day today in the States. And I always thought that was like a remembrance day for vets, but Robin was saying it's for all family or family and friends who've passed. I'm not sure if she's younger or older.
She's younger. She's 5
Younger.
years younger than me.
Mm. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
So you gave the thumbs up. Sounds like she's doing okay.
So much better. And I told you
Excellent.
they gave her a shot. They gave her a shot when I was there this morning.
Yeah.
She just woke up about half an hour ago.
Wow.
And she said they had a bunch of people in there trying to wake her up. And I says, well, like, were they worried? And she goes, well, I think they were, but I feel so much better. I'm glad that they didn't wake me up. But the poor thing hasn't slept in 5 days, and she's been
Wow.
vomiting for 5 days. So, but she said she just feels so much better. And I'm like, and I could tell just by the sound of her voice how much better she is. So we'll see. We'll see how tonight goes. You know how that is. But, yeah.
Oh,
So,
tomorrow is
yeah,
Memorial
tomorrow's
Day.
the actual Memorial Day. This is Memorial Weekend. Yeah.
Right.
So, oh, I'm so glad though, because man,
Yeah.
this morning when I saw her, did not look good. Did not look good.
Well, that's a weight off your shoulders. Like you can see the relief in your face, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just looks so much better. I mean, it sounds so much better. I just couldn't believe the difference. Couldn't believe the difference. So we'll see. She's like, I might go home tonight. I'm like, they're not going to let you go home
Oh
tonight.
no.
She does that all the time. She gets the tiniest bit better, and she pushes herself too much. So I'm like, you just relax. But you know how it is. Nobody likes to be in the hospital. You want to be at your own bed. But she gets super sick between like 3 and 5 every morning with this. So, oh, good.
All the time, like
no, with this bout.
right.
Yeah. So I can't imagine that they're going to let her go home just because she feels good for a few minutes.
Yes.
But I mean, she feels so good. She's going to try to order some dinner. She's on a liquid diet, but so she's got to order her broth before it's too late, and some popsicles. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah, but she's definitely in better spirits.
That's
wonderful. Yeah, she definitely needed some sleep, Amy, for sure. So I'm sorry. What did I miss? I heard
nothing.
I heard you say something about
what you're going to do. So, counting. Yes, I was just saying that. Hi, Eleanor. That I was saying that you were counting quite often, which is good because you make small adjustments as you go along. And I was just going to show the calculator that is at the back of the. There's a link in the pattern to the calculator if anyone needs any help working out where to do the increases. So you have to increase 6 stitches within a wedge. How do you do that? Like you don't increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight away. You try and space them out a little bit. And the more experienced you are, you'll, I'll do it every 3rd stitch or something like that, and they'll get me my 6. But if you need help, there's a calculator that will tell you how to. Can I bring it up now, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deb, I did not on my shawl because I thought my edges looked so good already. Now I did on the edge just because I thought it looked a little rough, and just to show the difference, I did on one but not on the other, just so you can see this one. I can't even tell now. This one has the edge. This one does not. Look at the difference. Now, Steve, because he's Steve, took that iris stitch and carried it across this side. Oh my gosh. I think that sounds so great. I'm going to do that on mine.
Did you do it across the side, or was it just the opposite end?
No, he did it across the side. I think that's what he said. He did it across the side. And I think that just sounds wonderful. So when I add that extra on, I'm going to do that on the end. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how well this will show up.
Make you big.
Does that?
Whoops, it didn't do it. I'm going to try that again.
Is that showing up the right orientation, or is it mirrored?
Nope, it's upside down, but all we see is a kitten.
Oh, the kitten is supposed to be upside down. The kitten is hanging upside down. So that's what it looks like. And I've put in a couple of figures already. I don't think this is going to work very well. What have I done? There we go.
There we go. So the stitch count 115, you want to increase it by 6.
Yep, so that's what I've done. And then I'll press calculate. Maybe. There we go.
With your little baby finger. Ta-da-da. Oh, okay. There
and so
you
it
go.
tells you, it says, okay, knit 10, make 1, knit, I'm not 19. Sure what that says. Knit 19 2 times, knit whatever. So the make one, you
make
just
1, knit 19 3 times, make 1, knit 10. Wow, that is wonderful.
Yeah, I love that. And so in the pattern itself, I say, okay, if you're in the first wedge, make 1, you replace that with a right lifted increase.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in wedge 2, you replace the make 1 with a left lifted increase. And that's it. Basically, that's it. Where did it go? And there's the same for the decrease. So in some sections you might need to decrease. So say you've got 19 odd stitches in wedge 1, but you've got 22 in the other wedge, you'll decrease 3 stitches, and that's basically just knit 2 together. But it has a decrease thing as well. So if you have to decrease more, I don't know where the app went. I must have closed it. This is going to take a little while. Yeah, so it's very easy. So when you get to the section where it says, and you can go to this section at any time, mainly between sections. So in at the separator sections, the first row of that, or in this star stitch special section. So you'll put in, okay, how many stitches do I have in wedge 1, and how many do I have in wedge 2, and then what do I adjust by? And sometimes you might get a negative number, but that's okay. Just write it down without the negative number. You can then go to that link and type in the number that needs to be adjusted. I'm going to do a video on this, as this is just a quick overview of what it is. So if you've got a different number in each wedge, for example, it gives you worked examples of what you would do, and what numbers you need to put in the certain boxes when we get to that. So here's the calculating tool, and I'll tell you what figure goes in this box, what figure goes in the how much to increase box, and the same for the decrease. So hopefully it's all laid out easily. It looks complicated because there's so many different examples, but you just find one that matches your situation, and then just work through the calculator section. I hope it is, Linda. Yeah, but like I said, I will do a video on it where I can actually have my phone recording as I'm actually doing it, rather than holding it up to the screen here, because I can't see anything when I do that.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice little calculator.
That sounds like.
And it does it for sleeves as well. So if it's got a sleeve, for increases, nice increasing on the sleeves and decreasing. It's a very user-friendly one, much nicer than the one that I originally had in there, which was a little bit harder to follow because you had to press enter. It didn't have a nice little calculate button, and it would have figures in there already that if you didn't overtype, it would throw things off. So this one I think is just a little bit more refined. And the lady was really nice and said, yeah, go for it, use it. It helps her too. She has patterns on her site too, so have a little poke around and see what she's got. She's a lovely lady. Okay.
Good.
So I think that's about it for me. Just trying to I've had this tablet for like 3 years. It's been turned off for 2.5 years, and I've only just turned it back on, and I have no idea how to use it because it's more like it's a combination like a phone, but it's kind of like a computer as well, like a laptop, and nothing works. And they want to know everything about you, absolutely everything, and you can't turn things off. And it's like, you really don't need to know where I live, really.
Right.
Yes. Let's see. It's going to bring that calculator up again. And so it's a clickable link in that pattern. So if you've already got the pattern, I'd suggest going to Dropbox and getting it again because there are a few little changes in there. Nothing major to any of the patterns. Hey, Amber. Yes, nothing major to any of the pattern changes in there. So she also has a decrease calculator there as well. And then underneath that, increase stitches to taper a standard sleeve, decrease stitches to taper a standard sleeve. So useful things, so you don't have to work it out yourself.
Nice. Oh, boy, anytime I find something like that, that makes me happy.
Oh, yeah. And most people, I think, if it's one stitch you need to adjust by, just make an increase sort of like in the beginning, in the middle of the wedge somewhere. It won't, it doesn't have to be in an exact spot. Just eyeball it halfway across. Yeah, I need to make one increase or I need to make one decrease. I'll do it just here. Or if you have the same odd number in both, the same even number in both wedges, just don't do your first and last increases of the row. Yeah. But if you're more than, say, 8 stitches out of whack, I'd probably be looking at undoing some of the rows because you'll be getting very skewed.
That sounds like a lot. Yeah, I was only off by 1 and I was getting nervous.
Yeah, so you'll find one of the sides. If it's 8 stitches on one side, it'll start getting warped. Actually, I had a picture. Am I able to put pictures up, or should I send it to you?
Well, why don't you try?
I'm not even sure how I would.
You can send it to me, but I'm so bad at this. I don't know if I'll be able to.
Or maybe I'll just get it up on my phone and put that up to the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so when I was designing the shawl, I wanted to have the very last section with no center stitch, but I still wanted to increase the 4 stitches. So I thought, that's okay. I'll just increase on every row at the ends instead of at each end and in the center. And so many stitches, like 200 and something stitches, you couldn't see what was going on. And I took it off and laid it flat, and that's what happened. So it's almost like the horns.
I told her it was a boomerang shawl.
It's a boomerang, and it was only at that end. So yeah, if you get your stitch count out, it can make weird things happen. No, so count often.
I thought that was funny. She was not pleased.
I was not pleased. That was not.
We had a rough few days there.
Yes, I agree, Amy. All the details they want. It's like I have about 4 or 5 different email accounts, so I range anywhere from 25 to 75 in my age, my birthday. I think I've got them in every other month, and it's like, yes, no one needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. right. Well, I think that's about it from me.
Yeah. So, Miss Amber, have you started your Irish shawl yet? I know you were going to make yours into something completely different.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, you still have. You just got your yarn. I forgot. Did you get your yarn yet? Did your package come? Should have come. Should have got it by now. Yes, I do, Linda. I have to read every one.
It will come. It will eventually come. How far are you into it, Linda?
Yep, which one goes where? Okay, so you got your yarn. Good. And did it arrive safely? Every time I hand a box over, I go,
Yeah.
I wrap the stuff up like Fort Knox. Use a whole roll of tape on every box. Oh, so you're where I am. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Good. Oh, good.
That's good. I don't feel so bad about not having more than section 3 up.
Yeah.
Which is the eyelet stitch, and that's an easy one. Robin already knows how to do that one. You did it in your Franken blanket.
The Franken
Something
blanket?
similar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so far, I know. Isn't that Anthem DK so soft? And it works up so nicely. It's just a dream to work with. Oh, I'm putting in an order probably Monday. And it's going to be so hard not to order more Anthem, but I've got so much of it already. So I want to order some of the other things. I'm gonna order the cherub to make those kits for the. I call it the lollipop, and that's not right. What is it?
Gumball.
The gumball blanket.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what, just between you and me and the what the heck is that saying now? I'm so tired. Yes, you and me and the lamppost. I think that blanket's too small.
Yes, it sounded small.
And I was talking to Miss Dana, and she's like, she was thinking it might be, and then she decided, nope, she's just going to go with it, and she's just going to make it the size that it is, and she's not going to worry about it. But if
you want it to be usable, though,
and if there's kids there that are if they're clear up to teenagers, this thing isn't even the size of a. It's not even big enough for a crib blanket. Because it's. Thank you, Amy. I really want, you know me, I always want something bigger. I always want a bigger blanket.
Oh, yes.
And
so it says on the measurements that it's 40 inches long by 35
wide. By 40.
Yeah,
and
35 by 40.
So we're right back to the same problem we had with
the anthology one, yes.
You know, I didn't, Deb, but it could be sitting in my post office box. I haven't been there since early last week. And I don't get a notice when I get a delivery. I used to get a notice. I'm very concerned that this blanket isn't going to be big enough. 35 by 40 is not very big. Because I was looking on those charts. Should have a package on Tuesday from Karen. Deb. Okay, wow. I guess I need to go to my post office box. Because I was looking at those charts. Whoops, that's not going to do me any good. A map. And a lot of the charts are saying, I mean, that's not even.
The organization that I knit for, they have, do you guys use the acronym SIDS for babies?
Yes.
Sudden Infant, yep. So they have SIDS guidelines for the minimum size of a cot blanket, and that is 1 meter by 100 centimeters by 120 centimeters. Now 100 centimeters, 40 inches is 101. So the length of this one is only the width that SIDS require. So it would have to be, to meet SIDS, and so SIDS is for babies in cots. Yeah. So you'd want your children to have bigger ones than that. 120. So in my mind, it should be at least 40 inches by 47 inches for
this
cot
thing
size.
Is not even the size of a receiving blanket.
No, it's not.
The receiving blanket is 40 by 40.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you have SIDS guidelines.
Well,
things like that. But yeah,
a stroller blanket is 30 by 36. A lapgan is 36 by 48. But if we've got teenagers, that's the thing.
And for an adult size blanket.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be an adult blanket, but if we got teenagers, the problem, Amy, that I'm having is I'm supposed to be putting kits together for people to buy. You know what I mean?
So yes, our blankets. So the place I do for, they do cot size, and then they have adult size, and the adult size are 48 by 62 inches is the minimum that they take, which is, I guess, a single bed size, good single bed size.
So this thing's going to be 35 wide, which
3 foot wide. Sounding a bit narrow.
I really wish I could see a finished one, you know. I guess I'm just going to have to. Well, you know what I'm going to do is the exact same thing that I did with this shawl, which is to take one of my baby blankets and lay it out.
Hey, Steve.
Oh my gosh, look at this blanket. How cute is that?
Oh, that's not.
Oh, now I have to have that. It's only $20. See, I go from looking at sizes to now I have to own that. No, don't share. Just move. Move. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Move. Okay, so Amber, you've got a mid-sized little. What would she do with a 35 by 40 blankie?
This is the pattern that I'm going to be doing at some stage. It's not released yet. It comes out on Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, is that
it's a mosaic.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, crocheted mosaic.
Beauteous.
Oh, I'm so looking forward. I saw that. This is a Rosina plain pattern. She does some gorgeous ones, and the colors, I think, and she's got it in Stylecraft, and I actually think I've got all of those colors in my stash. So yes, I'll be looking at that one.
I love Stylecraft.
So yes, I think she calls it fairy dust. Well, it will be called fairy dust. Baby doll blanket, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
39 by 39. Yeah.
Here we go. Twin.
And if it's for the kids as well, like to keep, they're not going to stay little. They're going to, like, even if they're 8 or 9 now.
So so this is saying a twin is 36 by 48. So that's 35. That's not even twin, 1 inch.
36 by. Yeah, so our cot blanket size is recommended by SIDS is 40 by 47 inch, which is close to your 36 by 48, just a little bit wider even.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This one says a small blanket for a baby or a child is 30 by 40. That's weird.
I guess that's if they're asleep and not moving and you just lay it gently on top of them.
Yeah.
And they're very thin, so they don't have, any width to go for the blanket to go over.
40 by 50. Boy, these things are all over the place. But I just saw another kid picture. Blanket size chart. Yeah, 30 by 40. Choose your size.
If, people can make the choice of what size they do it, but if you're making pack and you want it to be a decent sized blanket, then that's hard. You need to adjust the pattern multiple, because the length is easy to adjust. So I would think if you wanted it a third, so what was theirs? Theirs was 36 by 41. You could actually work it out by saying, okay, if I want it 3 inches wider.
Well, and she puts the multiples in there, so that's not the problem.
No,
problem
the
is
yarn. But you know how much yarn is in that area of 36 by 41? You could adjust those figures. I could work the figures out for you of how much yarn you should need for it. And if you give me, say, 36 by 40 or whatever size you want it to be, I can work out how much yarn you should need without actually doing any crocheting.
You're amazing.
You could do that. Yeah. Because if it's going to be a 12th wider and, a 10th longer, you can work that out.
Yeah.
We can do that. Tell me what size you want and we'll work it out.
Well, it's more of this is how much yarn I have. How big is this thing going to be?
Oh, okay. And you also don't know how much is left over from each skein when it was made?
No, I've never made it. So I think what I'll do is I'll take this skein of yarn that I have and make up a stripe and see what I end up with.
To make it to their specifications?
Yep.
As it is, yeah.
And see what I end up with, because they use 1 skein per stripe and then they go around 1 stitch per color. And even if I didn't do that, you could see what you end up with if you've got enough round.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Steve.
Yes, because you don't want to put 2 skeins of every color in there if they're only going to need a little bit for the.
Yeah, that was the problem originally. with that other yarn. That was the problem originally because the yardage was less in the Anthem. And that's why we went with the Cherub, because it had more yardage in it.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I can work up, because I've got the one skein of the yarn to play with. I can work up a stripe, see exactly how much yarn it uses. And then we can just see what we end up with and then see if I can go bigger.
Yes. The pattern must have a certain number of rows to do. Like, you don't do the whole skein because you need some left over for the border.
Yes, you need to have some left over for the border. But the border, it looks like you just go around one time, and it's an odd stitch. It almost looks like, to me, it looks like you're doing a back loop only something, because you end up with the stitch facing forward.
It looks like the camel stitch, I think it's called, the one that I'm thinking of.
Is it? I didn't really look at the border. Has anybody looked at it yet to see what the border is on that? Let me see if I can get into the Dropbox and see. Okay, I need to go into crochet. No. Okay, now that I figured out how to find yours, I can't find the other one.
It's the gumball.
There it is. Okay, so let's see what the stitch is for the border.
From Tony TL Yarncraft.
Border, chain one, rotate on the ends, half double crochet, place 1, 13 half double crochet along the accent color edge, and 3 half double crochet along the main. 3 half double crochet in the corner. So what the heck? It's just a half double crochet, but it's turn.
It must be in the.
Oh yes, good idea. Good idea, Steve. Good idea.
Maybe doing it in the third loop of the
yes, half double crochet in the third loop only.
And that'll push the other 2 forward.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's half double crochet, third loop only. And Steve, that's a great idea. I will weigh the skein before I start, because they are off a little bit. And then so I'll do a stripe, because that's all it is. You just do 1 stripe of each color, and then 1 stripe of the accent. Well, it's a little more than 1 stripe, 1 row, but you know, the accent. No, it's not much more. It might be 2. It might be 2 rows of the accent, but there's going to be plenty of the other color. So if you had to, you could do a row of the, in this, you know, and I'm looking at that gray, that heather gray, so or silver. You could do a row of the, let's just say yellow. You could do a row of yellow and a row of silver, and then a row of blue and a row of silver, if you had to. Do whatever you want to make that work out.
Or you could even do the border just a plain color, just the silver.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, if I'm putting a kit together, I want it to work for the thing.
Yes.
So I'll do that. I'll get that done this week and see how that'll work up. And I'm going to order both of those purples, Steve, so we can see which purple looks better. Because, you know, in this picture, it looks much bigger than what it sounds like. But really, you know, when she's holding that blanket, it looks much bigger. But you think about throwing that over even a 9 or 10-year-old. And it just kind of becomes more of a lovey than a blanket.
Yes, that's true. That's how I was thinking of it. Like if you were, a teenager or adolescent, it would be more of a lovey size.
Mm-hmm.
And I know kids get attached to things like that, but I don't see a teenage boy especially getting attached to a lovey.
It's funny though, because especially, and I know my mom used to work with foster kids, and if they had, been given something like that, they drug that thing around with them from pillar to post.
Mm.
So that's true, Amy. We don't know how tiny she is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've already got my first row done, which is funny. I almost tore that out. So I've already got that first row done. So it won't take much to do. Well, I'll get that done. I'll do that this week. And then we'll see how big that ends up and how much yarn that uses.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends too on the stitch. That a lot of acrylics and that will stretch eventually, like they'll stretch out.
Sure.
So that's probably why hers looks longer than
That's true, because she's holding it up like this. And they're using she's using that wool, which is going to act differently than this acrylic will.
Yes.
So
yeah. And when does Dana want the blankets by? I'm not going to do one.
They're Christmas presents.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yes.
Oh, you're right, Steve.
Yes. That's how we got sucked in.
That's how we got sucked in with this blanket.
Yes. That
with
the person
silly squares.
2 squares of it, and it made it look like this huge, beautiful blanket. And it's half the size.
Yep. And we've got a bye week on our squares for our knit squares. So it's a good week to do it. Yeah, I'll get that done. I will. In fact, I'll grab that. That's what I'll work on this evening.
Mm.
I'll get a few rows done this evening. And if nothing else, it'll give me a start on that. Since I do have, actually, honestly, I've got it right here. And right here. I still swear that looks green, and I go outside and it is absolutely brown. Isn't that is just the funniest darn thing?
It looks brown from here.
It looks brown to you?
Yeah.
It is 100% green to me. If anybody asked me, I would have bet money that was army green, and it looks brown on the screen 100%. That is so funny. But yeah, I've got this part done, and this measures out. I measured this out the other day, and it was 30. Or 29 or 30, and then I figured with the border that would give you the 35. So,
and once you get a couple of rows in, it will probably pull in a little bit too.
Shape a little bit.
Yeah, when you had that yarn just at the bottom of the screen there, it did have a greenish tint.
It looks more green.
Put it down when it's just coming up the edge of the thing. It did have a greenish tinge.
More green there. Maybe it's that light.
Maybe it's the light. Yeah, back over.
After I've done the squares, I should do another set. I know.
I know.
We were talking this morning. Cheryl and I were talking about they're going faster. I'm making fewer mistakes. I'm not struggling with the pattern as much. I'm understanding exactly what the pattern wants me to do. So even though I'm not in love with the project, I have definitely learned from it so much. Just the process of doing it. I mean, my goodness, look at this process, this project that we're doing with Cheryl now is so completely different. I would never have tackled this 4 months ago. It never would have occurred. Not in 1,000 years would I thought I could have done something like that. And if I hadn't had gone through this mess with these squares and with Cheryl showing us all of this stuff, yeah. Oh, I know it would be so much easier.
Yes, it
So,
would.
but I'm learning. So I learned a lot from the process. So I still, even though, and I don't hate it, it just, I don't like it as much. In how many times have we done a project where we didn't like the end result like we thought we were going to? So that's nothing new. So I'm not
to the photos that she has on her website don't do it justice. Like some of I've been surprised by many of the squares once they've done how pretty they look, but they look very rough as guts on her pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then you get the picture of the one that is on the Ravelry page, and that's like, oh my gosh, beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. To each chain. Turn. See, now I need to mark my thing. I have really gotten in the habit of always putting a stitch marker to mark right side and wrong side of things. And I really prefer
I find I need it more with crochet than I do with knitting.
Yeah, but you can read your knitting better than I can.
You'll get there. The patterns that still get me are the ones that on the wrong side, they say knit the knits and purl the pearls. And you go, okay, that's a thing. Or knit each stitch as it presents.
Oh, really? Oh, I wouldn't have any idea what that meant.
No. And sometimes when you've done a fancy stitch, it's hard to tell, well, was that a knit on the other side and I need to purl it now? I don't know when that came into vogue because I'm going back many, many years where every stitch was written out for you.
Yeah.
Even the wrong side rows. Yes.
So
I try to avoid that. I try to avoid doing that.
No,
you're doing up the pattern now, are you?
Yep, I'm going to start on it because I know it's just a simple thing all the way across. Chain one, double crochet in each chain across. That I can do.
I notice Amber's got another video up. I'm liking that she's putting more up more often.
I know. Give us something to look at. So what I was going to say is I'm going to order the yarn for these kits. And I'm going to order, see, I need to put a stitch marker in that first stitch. I'll count it when I'm done.
Yeah, me too, Amber.
Pattern, yeah. And then I'm going to order the yarn to make the wedding shawl. Now, and I have to ask the lady because the yarn that I'm getting, it's a fingering weight, and it is, oh my gosh, what is it? Oh, it's superwash merino and silk.
Oh, nice.
Right. And it is fingering weight, of course. Now, all of the patterns I've been looking at are DK. You use DK.
Yeah.
So if I hold this double, or do I need to hold it triple to turn fingering into DK?
Oh, only double.
Only double. Okay.
Yeah. Amber, I'm not sure if you saw the mosaic that I want to do hasn't been released yet. I think it's released on Thursday. The fairy one. I don't know if you were in, but I'll put it up there because I think you would like that one. So it's got the butterflies.
I swear I've
And the
seen her work
fairies.
before.
And daisies and the mushrooms. I love it. I saw it and it was like, oh my gosh, I've got to make that one.
Yeah, on something like that, I want a chart. I don't want it written out. I'm going to lose my place if it's written out.
Oh no, I'm still written out for that. And then I'll refer to if I lose my way, I'll look at the chart.
Really?
But I'd write it out. If it was just a chart, I'd write it out. Usually
Even on
Rosina
that?
gives both. Sorry?
Even on that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yep,
Interesting.
I've done that before. I did it on her meow blanket that I made for a friend of mine, and wrote it out completely. I'll even do it with knitting ones as well. I don't like working from charts. I think it's easier to work from the written instruction, but that's just the way I process things.
Mm-hmm.
More written than visual.
Well,
when I started,
just like the other day when I was showing you that cat, the visual really bothered you. So I can see how I can see how the chart would.
Yeah, that just messed with me. When I was a trainee programmer way back in the 80s, at lunchtime I would just read through the manual for the operating system that we had. It was a Prime operating system, Primos. And I would just, have my lunch while fingering through the manual, just learning all the new things in there. And then I'd put them into action. So, yeah, definitely words mean more to me than pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same, Amber. Yep.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
And funny thing is, I can see the pattern better in written instructions. I can visualize it than I can when I'm actually looking at the picture. We're all different.
Yep, different kind of learners.
Mm.
So, Amber, did you start the shawl yet? I can't remember if I think we started talking about this and then I got sidetracked. No, you did. Okay.
It's a very easy pattern to memorize.
I'm going to have to go back to my instructions and see how to do it to add that fifth skein of yarn on there.
Just read your crochet. You can tell.
Actually, I will be. I can read crochet for the most part. I can.
Yes.
I'll be able to do
Well,
that.
I know the rows that are in this, so I know, okay, that looks a bit short for a double crochet. Yeah, that's a half double. There's no singles in it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This is the wrong size crochet hook. You know what? I should check that before I get very far. I'll finish this row and then I'll get. You were going to use, I thought you were going to use just bits and pieces that you had because you were going to change the color every few rows. You weren't using new yarn for that. J hook. That's the right hook.
Mm-hmm. So the shawl that I make, Robbin's shawl that I'm making, I'm doing in fingering weight. That sock yarn that I sent you, Amber, I'm doing it in a colour in that yarn. And probably going to do, well, I'm not sure if I'll do 3 or 4 skeins because it's getting quite big with the 3 and it's 7 foot long at least, I reckon.
It's going to be so cozy to wrap up in.
It's going to be good. And because it's wool, it's going to be warm, even though it's lacy. I think it's going to be warm in winter as well.
That is super nice. I'm excited.
I'm so happy with how it's turning out. And just before we started, I got a notification from the post office that my next little haul of yarn from Bendigo Woolen Mills is here, and that's the 17 micron merino wool, 100% merino. That's washable.
Nice.
My fingers are just wanting to squish into it. I think it's going to be so soft. I haven't had yarn that fine before, that micron before. So I'm thinking, and there's no silk in it or alpaca or anything. It's just the 100% wool, merino wool. So when we finish here, I'll probably go into town and get it.
So is that a superwash?
They don't specifically say superwash, but they say you can wash it.
Okay.
But they don't say dry. And I believe superwash you can dry on low, can you? Or do you still lay it flat?
Oh, this is the Pacific is a superwash. Well, it's a blend. Superwash. Tumble dry low.
Yeah. Well, this one doesn't say. I'll check the ball band when it comes. Sometimes they leave off a little bit of information on their website. They don't give it all the information that's on the ball band. I'll just check again.
I know when I was looking at yarn for the wedding shawl, I was thinking alpaca, but I also didn't want anything that was going to shed, and I knew the alpaca would shed.
Yeah. And alpaca you need to wash more often, not because it gets dirty, but because it stretches out so much that you need to wash it, get it back into shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for this one, they say introductory price until the 18th of July is $19 for 200 grams. That's $19 Australian, so that'll be about 10 cents US.
Yeah, but it's $300 for shipping.
That's right. No, it's cheaper going from us to you than you to us.
Well, that's true.
Spun from superfine 17 micron merino fibers using a crepe technique, which is just a tighter twist.
Oh.
Bounces a bouncy texture and remarkable elasticity. Crepe construction minimizes pilling, ensuring that your finished products maintain their luxurious feel. The softness of Whisper is unmatched, making it perfect for high-end projects that demand superior quality. Warm, gentle wash, gentle rinse, normal spin dry, do not tumble dry, dry flat.
Okay.
But you can iron it with a warm iron and dry clean it.
You can dry clean it? So you can triangle?
Yeah. It's got a circle with a P in it that says dry cleanable. And then the triangle is with a cross through it says do not bleach.
I thought the triangle was do not dry clean.
No, I think it's the circle.
Huh.
There he goes.
I'm not sure. I ignore it and I just chuck everything in the washing machine anyway. Unless it's wool, and then I'll just soak it and hand wash it. Actually, Roxanne Richardson had an interesting video. I'm not sure if it's a current one or I just watched an old one. You know the ones that they say you don't have to rinse? It's a wool wash that you you soak it and you don't have to rinse it.
Yeah, that's so.
She had a cardigan that she was wearing in the yard, when she's chopping wood, we're working around the farm and all that sort of thing. And she used this soak and, it still looked pretty dirty. So she just used a general, regular wool wash. And she said the amount of dirt that came out of it was amazing. So the ones that just say yes, soak, they're gentle enough to soak, you don't need to rinse, aren't necessarily getting the dirt out.
Yeah.
But then most of us, like if we're not working on the farm, the cardigan or jumper isn't going to be real dirty.
Yeah, not so much. I'm
Yes.
not out splitting wood a whole lot.
I thought that was interesting because I've never heard anyone mention that before, that they don't actually get the dirt out. So they mustn't penetrate the fibers as much, I'd say. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I always like how people can make anything sound like, oh, I just gotta have this. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah.
All right. So CC to A. What do you suppose that means? CC to A. Where's your abbreviations? CC. CC. Change color to A.
Oh, okay.
Oh, was supposed to be the little white border. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. Dang it. Okay. But now I have to weigh and see how much of this yarn that I used. Because so that's not going to work. I got to do this over again.
Why isn't it going to work?
Because I won't have a full skein.
Oh, I see. Yes. So just undo the row you've got and start from where you've just reached now. So start at the color change to A part.
Just weigh that.
And check the pattern that it's not exactly the same as a couple of rows you've already done.
Yes, because there will be some left over to work for the border anyway. Right?
Yeah, there will be. And if that's your...
Well, that will be this.
Yeah.
That will have been this. Okay, so I have to weigh this. I'll be back.
I think the soak would be good for... so this one that I'm doing of Robin's Irish shawl here, I think that will be good for its very first wash before I block it. After wearing it a while, well, it's not going to get hugely dirty, but maybe every second or third wash, I'd just do it in a eucalyptus wool wash or something like that. And I really don't think you even need to bother with it being a particular wool wash, just so long as you don't need a lot. You don't need it to suds up a lot, because that's what will require a lot of rinsing and a lot of manipulating, like squeezing it out and rinsing, where you'll likely get felting if you do that too much. So I'd probably use the least amount of regular detergent that you can. Excuse me, and give it a wash that way. It's just like the gentle hair shampoos that they have for babies. They don't really clean our hair as much, especially if it's oily. You seem to need to wash it like 3 times before it gets that clean feeling. And I guess it's the surfactants that, cling on to the dirt that are less in these no rinse products.
Okay, there's 11 grams here.
You can use the Dawn dish soap on your hair. I'd use it. If I used it just a few drops, I'd certainly use it.
$11.
Where we live, we've got red soil, and so if you get, eventually whites will turn sort of like a grayish red color. and there's nothing you can do. You can soak them in, I'm not sure what your product would be, but it's an oxy-action soaker that we had one called nappy sand that you'd soak your cloth nappies in to get them, whiter than white. And you could soak your socks in this stuff for 3 days, change it every day, and they'll still be that red hue to things. So we very rarely have anything white, because even if you're not rolling around in the dirt, it's just in the air and it will discolor things. Doesn't matter so much on other colors, but yeah. So we know white bed sheets, no white towels, no white t-shirts, well, maybe one, and that's about it. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of rusty. We have a lot of iron in the soils around here where I am. Peanuts love it. We grow peanuts like galore in our area. And in some places it almost looks like Mars, how I imagine Mars would look. They're just so red. I've never seen, till we moved here, I'd never seen soil so red before.
Yeah, the red Georgia dirt, that makes sense because they grow peanuts there too. Yeah, we had a lot of red dirt in Texas, but not as red as in Georgia. Utah is like that.
And you're still finding it in the camper van, in the motorhome?
Not the red, but for sure the dirt. We didn't have the red dirt where we were.
Brown dust.
Right.
Yeah, the brown dirty dust.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
If I can.
What did she just call her motor home?
Camper van.
It's not a camper van. Long ways from that. It's a regular house on wheels.
No, because she doesn't know how big it is.
40 feet.
Chain 1, single crochet 2. Yeah, the what are they called? Red dirt shirt.
Yeah.
Red dirt shirt, Amy.
That's Georgia and places like that. Red dirt.
Chain 1.
Killed all those.
So that's sort of the color of our soil.
Oh wow, that is red.
That's on a peanut farm.
Wow. Yeah, our red dirt has a little more brown to it.
It's actually quite pretty when it's windy and you see, and their farmers just plowed their fields and you see the red dust rising. It's quite pretty. I mean, it's horrible trying to get it off things, and the cars are always covered in in dust. Yeah, that's it. That's the name of them, the dirt shirts.
Yeah, red dirt shirt.
And yet I can guarantee it fades, but it never goes away. So you'll never end up with a white one. And we're also on rainwater. So that's our only source of water here.
Oh.
So it lands on the roof, and we've got pipes that take the first pass. So when it rains, it goes down into this, and that water will be slightly red. But after that, after the first flush, it should be fine and go into our tank to drink. But occasionally, if it's been particularly windy, it takes a bit more rain to get it off. And you'll have, slightly red water. We filter it. We filter it a couple of times, but sometimes the red doesn't come out.
Wow. That sounds terrible. 1, 4.
Hmm. Did you ever live in Texas as well, Amber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Her husband's from Texas.
Mm. Oh, I saw that she said that, but I wasn't sure if they'd lived there as well. Yes, anything white, a little bit cherry.
So, is there anything exciting and interesting anybody's doing? Probably getting pretty late for you guys.
Oh, I don't mind. Well, I do mind heat, but humid kills me. Can't take humid.
Oh, that humidity, yeah. Oh, you've got trees where you are, Linda. That's nice. Does anybody have any questions on the pattern? We're just getting into it a little bit. It's not bad. I'm handling it.
I think the real the first one that is a little different and a little harder is the star stitch.
Whoops. See, here I am just going away, not paying
Oh,
attention. Oh, you made a purse? Laundromat, ick. I just want to make sure that we deal with anything to do with the shawl before we start losing people, because I know it's late for a lot of people. Linda, I can't believe you're still up.
so would it be about 10:30 in the evening where you are, Linda?
I think it's 11:30 where she is.
11. Wow.
She's a party animal tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, so 9:30 where Amber is, 7:30 where you are,
Correct. And what about you?
12:30. It's my favorite time of the day at the moment. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 12:34 in the afternoon.
On Monday.
On Monday. Yes.
I just think that's so funny. It's tomorrow there.
It is. And I don't know if I've been conditioned. I don't look at the clock all of the time, but the number of times I do, and it's 12:34, and I just like that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, whether it's morning or night. Although I've got a military clock in the bedroom, so it's usually 0, 3, 4 in the morning.
Yes, Deb. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. I keep saying that and I keep not doing it. Yes.
And if it's on when was it? Was it on Monday nights for you? I get so confused. I know Monday was there. I'm not sure if it's my Monday or your Monday.
Yeah, it was my Monday.
Your Monday. Mm.
I know somebody else was just giving me crap about it. I think it was Sherry.
I haven't seen Sherry. I'm wondering, did we only see Sherry in bingo?
I know we haven't seen her in alive in forever.
Mm. I haven't seen Mary either. I hope she's doing well.
Not sure. I haven't seen Mary. No, I can't remember. I'm thinking soon.
Yeah, that's not your counting face, is it, Robbin? 5, 6, 7.
12.
I make the mistake of trying to count stitches while I'm watching a crochet tutorial. Or even if I was doing one thing, you were talking and was saying, oh, we're going to skip a week. And so I was doing a double crochet, then skipping one, and then doing a double crochet where it was supposed to be all double crochets. And it just gets into your mind, I'm hearing skip, 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 whatever. Oh, yes, if that's from me, yes, we've got some crows outside and some magpies out there. Crows are talking to each other. I love the crows. They're nice. I know a lot of people don't like them, but they're nice. You see a flash go past and you think, is that a bird? We have the kookaburras as well. They like to sit on our roof, and they're great watch animals. They'll let you know if there's snakes around. You can hear the difference in their calls, and the same with the minor birds as well. Hi, Sue.
Well, hello, Sue.
I thought I was asleep. Not sure what you meant there. Meant you were hearing things or?
Slipping.
Oh, slipping. And I get so used to hearing them that I don't even think if they don't register a lot of the time unless they're making a different sound. And if we've got scraps of meat, we'll take it out. We don't feed the birds or water them unless it's in a drought situation. But if we've got some, leftover meat that we're not going to eat, we'll chop it up and throw it out for the birds. And they know, like if I'm going like that, throwing it around, the birds will come in. So they watch, even though you can't see them. And, they might be 500-600 meters away. They see motion and they'll all come, and the crows, the magpies, the kookaburras, the minor birds, the ducks.
Wow.
It's nice. Yes, they do.
Really?
And
It's going to rain, huh?
yes. And also about an hour before the sun comes up, which can be really frustrating at times. Yeah.
That wouldn't be fun.
Again, you get used to it. It's not like living on a busy street. If you've got trucks going past on your freeway or even a train station, you eventually get used to it. My sister couldn't get used to the kookaburras, and so she had some fishing line going out through the screen of her window into the tree, across to the tree, and in the tree was a little bell. So when they'd start their cackling in the morning, she'd just pull on the string on the fishing line, which would ring the bell, and then they would fly away. And she'd drift back off to sleep because she used to work late. So 5 o'clock in the morning was sort of, her 10 o'clock at night for us if you've gone to bed at, 8. So yes, she said it worked well.
That's interesting.
I guess we tend to have loud birds. The predominant birds are just loud.
I had no idea. I mean, I've heard of cockaburros, but I don't know that I knew it was a real thing.
A kookaburra, yes. We've got kookaburra and we've got cockatoos. Cockatoos are really loud.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, the trains. Mm-hmm. We used to have trains about 2 blocks away from where we lived. You don't even hear them after a while. You don't even notice them.
No.
Boy, at the shop. What we have, the shop is here, and then the street, and on the other side of the street is the train track. They are so loud.
I used to live in Sydney and in Newcastle, so in cities, and you would tune out the sound of emergency services like the ambulance or fire, police. But now I'm in the country, you rarely hear that at all. But when I do hear it, it doesn't register for a few minutes. And then I think, oh, I'm not supposed to be hearing that sound now. There's obviously something going on close by. It's but just, yeah, my brain still remembers, yeah, you tune out that sound because it just happens so often. Hi, Janice.
Hello, Janice. Sorry, I was counting. Counting. We're trying out the yarn and we're doing the first section of the gumball afghan to see how that works out with the size and the yarn and all the things.
I find that happens too, Linda, and often in I was going to say the green room, because it is a green room. The walls are green. We've lifted up the carpet, and so it's just the concrete slab underneath, and I'll drop my knitting needle or my crochet hook, and Steve will come in and goes, "Do you want me to get that for you?" It's like, no, it's okay. I can get it, unless it's right under the wheels of my chair. And then I'll say, yep, you can get that one for me. So he knows that sound.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Cadbury Chocolate Factory. Yeah, that would be
I used to go home on the train past a suburb in Sydney called Rhodes, and that's where the Arnott's factory was. Arnott's biscuits. Oh, the smell. It was just divine. I can imagine the Cadbury chocolates would be good too.
Yeah, that would be lovely. He's very noisy.
Yes. I'm surprised it's picking it up. I've had planes go overhead and I can hear them, and I listen back to my recording and no, it's not there, but yeah. And we have about maybe 8 to 10 kangaroos that come around regularly at this time of the year, every morning and every evening, nibbling on the grass. We need more so we don't have to mow.
That's funny.
Whereabouts are you, Janice? I haven't seen you in here before, but that's nothing unusual for me. But so Cadbury chocolates, I'd think either England, Canada, or Australia. They'd be my 3 guesses. Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen Janice for a bit, but she's one of our regulars.
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
We were talking, my husband and I were talking about something, and he said, "Oh, have you heard about the pawn shop?" And then he pauses, and I said, "Is it in Pittsburgh?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, the pawn shop on the corner in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't understand what you mean. How can you not know that song? He knows every song, not that one, obviously. So I had to play it for him. He goes, "I've never heard that before." I said, "Well, okay." And he's older than me, so it's not an age thing.
You were born in Canada, Newfoundland.
No.
Nice. And then, oh yeah, Cadbury's much better than Hershey's. You are correct. Linda used to live by the Yankee Candle factory, and she could tell what scent they were making each day. That's funny.
Mm.
That is funny. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny, Sue, that I'm assuming a lot of Americans, Hershey is their favourite, and try Cadbury's and think, no. And in Australia, we tend to be the other way around. We go, oh, Hershey's, no, you have one and that's it. You go, no, I don't know what they see in it. Same with our Vegemite. It's nice, but you need to. So imagine something that you really, really don't want to eat, but you have to put some on your toast. You have to use some. How little would you use? That's how much Vegemite you'd use. Until you're acclimatized to it. These people who eat it by the teaspoon, it's like, no.
Yeah, that Vegemite, that just sounds horrific.
Lots of different, I think there's Marmite, Bromite, Promite, all made from the same sort of process of a brewer's yeast based. I quite like it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially with cheese. So a cheese Vegemite sandwich, classic Aussie. Yeah, yes. That's probably the only thing I'd put it with, if I didn't have it just by itself. But that's like we in Australia, we could never understand Americans' PB&J.
Oh, really?
Jelly? No. And because jelly is something different, jelly is Jello in Australia.
Oh.
And really, they're not putting jelly on their sandwiches as well. And then worked out that it was jam.
Yeah.
And even then it was like, yeah, I don't think I'd come. Peanut butter and honey, yes. That's
I don't care for peanut butter and honey. I never have. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's just not something I'm going to choose.
No. You're in Tasmania, Sue, is that correct?
Ooh, and Amy likes See's chocolates. I'm right there with you. They're one of my favorites. But that's not grocery store candy.
I haven't heard of See's chocolate.
See's, no, it's a specialty candy. We have to go to a special candy store to get it. It's so good.
I could probably do peanut butter and Nutella.
Oh, yeah.
We had a product many years ago that was like Nutella, but it was called Kugel. And it was a chocolate spread type thing made with nuts. I don't know if it had peanuts in it. That was back in the 70s. And yeah, you were living the high life if you got a Kugel sandwich for lunch at school. Oh, okay. And are you freely able to get Vegemite, Sue? Do you need a care package? I'm happy to send you one.
Yeah, where does one buy Vegemite in America?
I know in Australia we have American foods and American yarn stores. We've even got a Kiwi store. So if they'll stock products that are from America, so I can get, not that I do, but I can get Kool-Aid which we don't have in Australia. We probably have an equivalent, but I can actually get Kool-Aid. I don't know what else you have that I would want. And there's an American yarn store as well. But it's super expensive. It's actually cheaper for me to buy it in America and have it sent here than.
Oh, is that
And I know
right?
everyone. Yes, well, it's making. I mean, they have to have it shipped to them.
Yeah, I
And
suppose
then they need to ship it to me, and then they need to make a profit on top of all of that. So sometimes it's easier to cut out the middleman, unless it's just 1 or 2 skeins that I want, and then I might have a look. But it takes a while to get the newer yarns like that. Is it called Bitty yarn or Itty yarn from Red Heart? Because I want to say itty bitty, but it's only one of the words.
I haven't heard of that.
Bitty yarn. We don't have that yet. I got some from them to dye some yarn, but I haven't actually got around to dyeing the yarn yet, and I'm thinking I won't. So I have all this Kool-Aid in different colours.
Yeah, I do too, for the same reason.
Bitty Super Savvy, yeah, that hasn't made it to Australia yet. That'll be a little while. And that's one of the things that gets to me. It's like, you'd like to try out the new yarns as they come out, but it takes a while. And okay, good night, Linda. I don't know where Linda came. Good night, Linda. And I really don't need to check out all the yarns because, I have so much yarn. I'm never going to get through it.
You might. It could happen.
Ah.
Oh, the Tim Tams.
The Tim Tam, yes.
I've heard of the Tim Tams. That I thought it was a Canada thing.
No, that's an Australia thing. They have so many different varieties now. So with the specialty ones, they're changing down how many biscuits they put, but they're still the same package. They're just putting a wider plastic spacing between each biscuit. So it looks like the same. And instead of getting a dozen, you're getting like 8.
Push them to the right side of the work. Choose this side.
I like my peanut butter and Nutella on vanilla ice cream. I know. That's the reaction I get from my husband as well.
That doesn't sound very good.
It is. It's nice. No salt peanut butter, no salt, no sugar. So it's just natural peanuts. No added salt or sugar. Yes, definitely a thing. We'll make these cans, 5 or 10 grams smaller so that we can put a little ring around it and you can stack your cans. We're just doing it for you to make life easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And there's one, I think you have a toilet paper that claims it's like 1,000 sheets on a roll or something like that. And they can't shrink that because that's their claim on their thing. So what they're doing is making the paper thinner.
Yeah.
Yep, the plies thinner. We have toilet paper like that has always been 2-ply, but now it's 3-ply. But you notice that it's not any thicker. It's just that each ply is thinner. But we'll charge you more because it's 3 plies, not 2.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So food and grocery items skyrocketed in the States as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We've been finding it. What used to cost you $30 can easily cost you $70 now. It's just crazy.
Boy, this is
Oh,
hard.
a hot Milo coming into winter. A hot Milo is
Milo.
a chocolate drink, but it's not a powder. It's more like granules, and it has a ton of sugar in it as well. And it's a malted. It's almost like a malted chocolate.
Oh,
Love malt.
And I believe it's an Australian. I don't think it came. So a lot of our stuff comes from Britain originally, but I'm pretty sure Milo's Australian. Yep, so it says Milo is an iconic Australian brand first developed in 1934 by Thomas Main to address malnutrition in Aussie kids.
so drink up. Oh, like Ovaltine.
Yes, but different. And it's like the Vegemite, Promite, Marmite. Everyone has their favourite one of those. And the same with Ovaltine and Milo. And I think the reason Milo was popular way back when was it had milk powder in it as well. So you just had to add hot water.
Oh,
which is why it would have been beneficial for kids who were malnourished because they were getting the milk and in the powdered form in it when they maybe couldn't afford milk. We used to have milk in schools free here in the 60s and 70s. I don't know so much about the 80s. Okay. I haven't never had Marmite soup. I forgot where I was going with them. Yes, but now it's basically just a sugar chocolate drink. Good night, Amber.
good night. I think I'm going to be right behind you. I'm about falling asleep here. I've been yawning.
My tummy's grumbling, telling me it's lunchtime.
Yeah. That's right. I keep forgetting that it's the middle of the day for you. Well, I'm glad everybody is doing well. And if you guys have any questions on either of the projects, just drop us a line. And we are more than happy to help. And we will talk to you soon. I can't even think about what our next thing is. I guess it's Wednesday. Yeah, I guess it's Rad Girls.
Your Rad Girls on Wednesday.
Amber, do you have any appointments on Wednesday? Do you know? If she hasn't gone already. I think we've probably lost her already. She's quick to get out. We'll see. She was able to pop in for a few minutes last week after her appointment, so that was fun.
That's one I don't usually catch because I think that's 3 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, it's pretty early for you.
Pretty early. It's sort of like I am asleep at that time. It's not like I've stayed up, or sometimes I do wake up. Usually, if something wakes me up after about 3 or 4 hours sleep, I'm awake. I can't get back to sleep.
Yeah.
The joys of getting older.
Right?
Yeah.
He's up and down all night. Then last night, the kitten jumped up on the dresser, and I try to keep her off of there because what happens then is she falls behind the dresser and gets stuck. So then we have to wake up and move everything so I can pull the dresser out so I can get her out from behind there. And I'm so afraid she's going to do that when we're not home or we don't realize she's back there. And something terrible is going to happen. So
Hi, Dad.
We've got the squirt bottle now, so she won't do anything with that squirt bottle. That keeps her away from stuff.
On your side of the bed?
Yeah, it needs to be on my side of the bed. Are you going to bed?
Yep.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
Mm.
So
Very tired.
I know I'm very tired too.
My pills put me to sleep.
Yep. All right. Good night, hon. So
So how old is the kitten, Robin? I thought
she's a year old now.
yeah, I was going to say I thought she was more than a kitten.
Yeah, because we got her about Mother's Day last year.
Mhm.
And so she was about 8 weeks because her birthday and mine, we figured out she's got to be just about around my birthday. So probably sometime in about the middle of March is when she was born.
Right.
Because we got her.
Well, you think she would have learned by now not to jump down there.
Well, she loves to get up on the dresser because all of my necklaces are hanging on the side there. And then that's right next to the yarn wall. So that she can play with all of that stuff. And there was something that it must be some yarn inside of plastic still, because I could hear her playing with that last night. It's just always something. It is just always something with her.
The kitty playground.
It is. A few nights ago, I'm like, where is she? I can hear her. And I thought she was on top of, because my closet goes like probably 8 feet high, and then there's a space about 2 feet between it and the ceiling. Well, I put a bunch of I was going to say all of my kits, but you guys know better than that. So I have a bunch of my yarn kits up there, and I thought she was crawling around up in there because I could hear the plastic. Well, finally we decided she was actually inside the closet, just crawling around in there, munching and crunching on the floor of the closet. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then she somehow at some point she left our room and went in with Morgan, and she was raising hell in there. So about 4 a.m, she was invited to go outside for you are spending the night outside.
Here's your hat. There's the door. Off you go.
Yeah. So she was bothering. Well, part of the reason is we've closed off the dog door now to disencourage her from bringing the mice in.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't have free reign of going in and out. And I think that is causing her to be a little wilder inside. And she really wants to be outside raising Cain. But I'm tired of her bringing the mice in every single night. And because she brings them in and then she lets them go so she can play with them.
She can play with them. Yes, play with them in the comfort of your own home.
Yes, look at the toy I've brought for you.
Yes.
And then poor Morgan, when she's done playing with them, she disembowels them all over the middle of Morgan's room. And then she wakes up at 3 a.m. and steps on them.
Oh no.
That would just be
no. Yeah, that's a good idea, Steve, to say the word while you're squirting them so they get used to the word being a deterrent as well.
No. And usually I make this very loud noise, and the dogs always knew that when I made that noise, they froze.
Yes.
But I don't make it enough for her. And I don't think she would care anyway. And we used to have a training thing they said to do was to take an empty can, and fill it with rocks or coins and shake it. And that same kind of a thing. I don't think she would care. But she does not like the water bottle. She hates that water bottle. So you barely.
Our dogs didn't like the sound of an empty plastic bottle being spun around. You know how it goes. Whoop, 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 whoop. They didn't like that sound at all.
Oh, sure. Which shawl, the knit one or the crochet one, Janice? Because we both have ours right here. We can show you. Yeah, the loud noises don't scare her at all.
Mm,
But and even the water gun doesn't even have to hit her. She just hears it spraying near her and she's gone.
mm.
Yeah.
The lady that I was house sitting for just the other day, she has 3 cats, beautiful cats, and this little dachshund that's only like 4 months old. And it was a bit whiny because my friend wasn't there, and that's the first time she hasn't been there. And she started barking at night, just
The
a yap,
cat?
yap, yap barking. And so I just said, no, no barking. And then she gave a little short bark, and I said, "Grr." So that, and she went to sleep. So I think it was the deep growly voice that was, yeah, no, Mum's
Yeah.
spoken.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any problems with her after that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Steve. You're absolutely right. You got to be consistent with them.
Yeah.
So this is the crocheted shawl. It's a rectangle shawl, and it's I used 4 skeins of DK, so it's 16 inches from top to bottom, and it's 6 feet wide across. And that's the design. You can see the iris stitch is this design right here, the long pattern there in the middle. Let's see if I can pull that up a little bit so you can see it. I think it's a very pretty pattern.
It is. It's working out nicely.
Yeah, I wanted something that was a little bit open, a little bit soft.
Mm. And so I'm doing Robbin's shawl as well in a variegated, or it's a sock yarn weight, and that's coming up nicely as well in the stripes. So it doesn't have to be solid. So that was Robbin's shawl, and this is the knitted shawl. So this is in the worsted weight. So we've got the different sections. And then down to the finish. And that is 85 inches wide and 36 from the centre back to the point. And I've also done one in a DK weight. This one isn't blocked yet. It's an acrylic, and it took 4 balls of Hobby Amigo, and it's smaller, but you could certainly add more. Repeat some of the sections in there, and yeah, so that's the knitted one.
So beautiful.
I'm enjoying doing both of them.
I'm excited that I'm able to do it. I'm able to read the pattern, figuring out what I need between the pattern and the I couldn't do, I mean, I'm honest, I could not do it without the tutorial, but I think part of it's because I'm doing things that are way outside my wheelhouse.
Yes and no, they're not outside your wheelhouse, but they are in your mind, and that's where I hope the tutorials come in handy to show you, like, that I do it slow enough,
Yeah,
that you can see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not having any problems seeing what it is. I'm just having problems remembering, so that I have to go back and watch it each time I go to do it. And if it was something I was doing over and over and over in the row, I'd be fine. Just like the it wasn't a chain, the cable. After I did it 2 or 3 times, I was fine. I just did it.
yes.
But because those increases, you do a whole row and then you're back, and each of the 4 increases is a little different.
Yes.
Then you have to watch it again,
and you'll get it by the time you finish the shawl. Even way before you finish the shawl, you'll know how to do those. I can't even think how many rows there are in the pattern. Got to be at least a couple of 100 rows.
Yeah.
No, not that many.
And the 2 end ones, it's just that middle one I can't remember how to do.
And the middle one on the left, the right, I found the right one was easy, where you just pick up the loop as you get to it. But the one on the other side, where you have to drop down a row to pick up
Yeah.
that loop, that was the one that still gets me occasionally. I think, am I in the right place? And I have to faff around with it a little bit. So, yeah. But the others are, you'll get them. And if you're doing adjustments, if you're having to, adjust your stitch count, you'll be doing a few of those, the lifted increases as well. Or you could just do a knit front and back. If it's only a stitch here and there, that's not going to make any difference. Okay. Yeah. I just like the look of the lifted ones. They seem to fit in a little bit more seamlessly.
So it's interesting. And I'm learning a lot, just like. Yeah, cats are.
And your skills are getting better too, because you're doing so much knitting now. You're doing the anthology, you're doing the shawl. You've had something else that you were knitting as well, or you're just thinking of knitting?
Well, I'm doing the hat project that you and I are going to work on, and I was doing that other shawl, and that's when the shop caught on fire.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
I had just
the Malabrigo one, and a sock, and the knitted sock.
I've knitted one sock. Well, and that's when I've got it twisted. I've got that twisted one, and I need to tear the whole thing apart and start over. And yeah, because it seemed like every single project I had going was a knit project.
And that will increase your ability as well, just doing all of the different knits. Because when you think, like, people who just crochet or are learning to crochet, they crochet everything. And so, like, there's no switching between the two. I learned to knit when I was 4.5, 5, and didn't pick up crochet until I was 12 or 13. And even then it was just a couple of things, because I taught myself how to do that from watching my classroom teacher when we were supposed to be watching the AV machine. She sat up the back and I was up the back, and I'd watch her rather than whatever documentary they had on, and went home and tried to duplicate that.
That's funny.
And made a lot of bun covers, because I didn't know you had to do corners and that sort of thing. So I wasn't really impressed with the versatility of crochet back then. So yeah. And then I think the next project I did was a bedspread for my sister's 16th birthday.
Yes.
And then years and years in between it. So I've had a lot of practice with knitting, and not until recently a lot of crocheting. And that's why I'm better at knitting than crocheting. And other people you're probably a lot better at crocheting than you are at knitting at the moment.
Well, and just like that lady that came into the shop, and she's like, do you do knitting lessons? And I told her, I says, I'm looking for a knitting teacher. And I said, I can teach you crochet. And basically she didn't even know the difference between the two. She just wants to learn how to play with yarn.
Yeah.
Like, well, then let's crochet.
I think it's rarer for someone to go from crochet to picking up knitting, because crochet, while it has its complexities, it's easier than knitting to learn, because you have one hook, one stitch that you're working on at a time. So if someone wanted to learn both, I'd probably say learn knitting first, because then crocheting will be a breeze. Because if you knew how to crochet, you probably wouldn't want to go to knitting.
Right. The only reason that I know of that most crocheters want to learn to knit is to make socks, because honestly, crocheted socks are not as nice. That's just the bottom line. But both crafts have their good points and bad points. I love crocheted lace work. Like, I find that easier than knitted lace work. Knitted lace work's beautiful, but it's harder to undo and harder to use the lifelines and know where you are than crochet. But I love knitted cables, and I'm not that fussed on very many
crochet cables.
Crochet cables are okay, but knitted cables look much nicer.
So both crafts have their good points and bad points, and knitting has a nice thinner fabric, which is good for a lot of baby wear that, especially in hotter areas where you don't want it always to be so thick, but you don't want it to be lacy either. So they both have their good and bad points.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm about to fall asleep just sitting here talking. So I'm gonna say I'm so glad you guys joined us tonight, and we hopefully will see you on Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock my time Pacific for Rad Girls, and we'll see who shows up. You never know. And then we'll be back here next Sunday morning at 8 a.m. for the anthology knit. Now, next week, this coming up week, we have a bye week, so it's catch-up week. If you've had a problem keeping up with your squares, I know most people are not having a problem, but it's also our week to get your squares blocked up, and if you're sewing them together, and then next Sunday evening for working our shawls and seeing how that's going. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight and for chit-chatting, and I appreciate all the good wishes for my sister apparently at work because she's getting better.
That's good.
Good night, everybody.
Yes, good night, everyone. Night, Janice, Sue, Steve. I can't remember. Oh, Amy. I think Amy left earlier.
Yeah, I think she went to bed.
Yeah, she did.
See you later.
Bye, guys.